I'm just going to introduce the video. So today we're doing a demonstration of how to make things turn, or what we call creating volume. I think I got this out of Tony Couch's book, possible. Tony Couch is in our closet. He's a great teacher. He does a lot of step-by-step, and he's worth taking his book and bringing it home and practicing from his book. Hello! We're doing this lesson today at the Sharonville Community Center. So, how to make things turn, all right? So I need a piece of paper, that would help. Here we go. I'm just going to use a small piece of paper. I'm not going to even bother to tape it down. This is the 300 pound, I think it is. So it can pretty much stand up to almost anything. So we're going to start with just a bottle. Let me put this on pause a minute. So the principles of light are, one, you'll have this, copy this. The highlight, which is right here on the bottle. Let me zoom this in a little. Doesn't want to zoom. Can zoom, interact in this mode. Okay, now I'll move it up. Okay, so the first principle is highlight. That's that little light you see that hits depending on which way the light is coming. So it's like a highlight on this side. Let's say the light's coming this way, whether it's on the apple or the fruit. These are not very good demonstrations here. There's light, that's why we do the demo. Then you have the second one is highlight shows the roundness of the form, shows the direction of the light source. That will be the brightest place where the light is. Then you have light tone, the lightest value on the form, which would be this here. And you also have a little highlight in here, and a little highlight in here. Halftone, most of the middle values. And that's why we've done values. Middle values. Okay. Middle values. And then you have base tone, the darkest part of the form, and the part farthest away from the light source. That would be in here. That'd be the base tone. Reflective light, darker than the darkest half tone, must be there for the form to turn around. That's how important these values are. And that would be about in this area. And then you have cast shadow, shows direction of light, also helpful creating depth. So cast shadow is, and it's marked here, cast shadow, reflective, highlight, 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 half tone, base tone, highlight in here. And then reflective light, cast shadow is also a lot of times, you'll have light bouncing off the table. In this case, it's on a table. You'll have some light in here too. This won't be the same from here to here, here to here, or here to here, if it's going to create the volume. So that's why we did a values exercise. Okay, without further ado, I'll start with a bottle, which is, simple form. But if you learn to do this on a bottle, you can do it on petals, you can do it on clouds, apples, anything round, actually. So I'm going to just draw a simple bottle here. Don't put the apple down here for later. There. Here's my apple. Okay. I'm not so worried about how beautiful the shape is, how much it looks like an apple. I'm more interested in the values at this point. So the bottle's going to go here. It's got a little top to it, a little lip, and it's got another lip coming down like that. It'll make it a wine bottle. right next to the apple. So it becomes a still life. And like I said, if it's not perfect, I'm not worried. Well, my interest right now is applying the paint, right? So I'm going to just use, I'm not going to use colors. I'm going to use these earth tones. And, well, maybe no. Maybe being that it's a wine bottle, I'll use colors. How's that? So this is just a cheapo. You don't have to have great supplies to paint watercolor. You just have to learn the techniques and practice, practice, practice. So one of the exercises you have to learn is how much paint and how much water makes the paints lighter or darker, correct? That's the biggie. How much water to how much paint makes it correct.
And how do you pick your brushes?
Depending on the size of the thing I'm painting, whether I want flats or rounds, depends on also the shape of the thing I'm painting. So I just throw everything out here. So I'm going to start with this flat. It's about a 1/2 inch. Oh, it's a 3/4. These are not expensive brushes. It's a 3/4 inch flat. Okay, so we're going to start with that. I don't know if you could see this, guys, but there's a bottle there. As I paint it, you'll see it. So we're going to start with the light source is this way. So I'm going to say this is where my light source is by just painting this little sun. That's the light source coming this way, right? So that means, thank you. That means this is where my highlight's going to be, right in here. And right in here. That's where my highlight's going to be. Now the shape depends on if it's a fruit or a bottle or something. Just leave something light, and you might even have a little tiny bit off of it, like that. Maybe even a little tiny bit, but not as much here. As the light comes down, it's going to be less light here. So I'm thinking light, dark, right where the value's coming from. Okay, so using just wine colors, we're going to start with, and we're going to watch our chart. I want you to watch the chart. Okay, I want you to watch the chart, read the chart, hold it. What does the first thing say? I don't know if you could read that. I'll read it for you. 1, highlight. So we just put that in, right? It says it's unnecessary. That means it's not always worth using. But if you got a strong light source, most likely you're going to need a highlight in here somewhere with this sun coming this way or this light coming this way. So we're going to make sure we leave that. Then 2 is the light tone, the lightest value on the form. Now that's where you value, where you tried values. Lightest one. Look, I'm not even going into that yet, right? So that's going to be the lightest. Whoa, look how light that is, see? Make sure I leave that white in there. Beautiful. But it doesn't say anything about turning it, right? Okay, so we're going to continue with this a little bit. So we start going into the next tone, which is the light tone is the lightest form. The half tone, mostly middle values. And on the chart, light tone, half tone is right about in here. So as it comes down the bottle, it makes a turn also. So I can't leave that just from here to there, because as the bottle comes down, it's making a turn. Its shape is going down. So I'm gonna just put a little more of this on here, little half tone, okay? And we're just gonna bring it down just a little bit up to here. Now you're saying, why don't I go all the way down? Because I want to get a reflective light, and I don't have to give you a reflective light. Yes, reflective light. It's a half tone, must be there for the form to turn around. And they're doing reflective light here somewhere, but it also has reflective light off the table. So I'm going to leave that a little bit light also for now. I could always go darker, see? With watercolor, you could always go darker, but you can't always go, what? Lighter. So I'm going to take a paper towel, have that, in case I have to, if I'm going too dark, hit it with this. Have paper towel ready, okay? So we got up to, let's see, halftone,
Reflective light 5.
most of the middle value. So, and I like halftone because it's a safe tone. And I can just start to just bring that like that. Now, as it comes up the bottle, guess what? It's going to turn again. So I'm going to just make a little tiny bit lighter. I added just a little bit of water to this and brought it up. Now you start seeing a difference between here and here, right? That's why the value scale is so important. So as it comes down, now as it comes down in here, I'm going to do this halftone up into here, just to wet the paper. And I'm going to just leave a little bit of white down in here, just a little bit. My instrument. But as it turns now, we're going to get into, look at your chart, base tone. The halftone is most of the middle values. The halftone, the base tone, is the darkest part of the form and the part farthest away from the light. So where's that going to be? Light's this way, so farthest away from the light is here.
Left side.
Now you could also have a reflective light this way. I got to be conscious of that I might want to leave some of that light. Okay, so I'm going to get a little bit, darker. A little bit dark. I'm going to get a little red just to make it interesting, the bottle. Just a little bit more. And I'm going to put that right about in here. You say, why am I using this brush? Because it's a flat brush. I can press down and get a nice flat image. Okay. Now as it comes up, guess what? I'm going to rinse a little bit of this off. Keep my lighter form down in here a little bit. So I keep that reflective light on the bottom. I could always make it darker. That's not very dark, is it? But I'm going to blend it a little into this. And blend it just a little onto this side, because this got to be darker than this. Because that's the light side. Always remember, light side, dark side, where the light is coming from. If it was coming the light this way, that would change everything again too. But this is the easiest way to do this demonstration. So deciding on that side is the light side. That's not very dark, so I'm going to go a little darker. And as I darken it, I'm not worried about dripping right now. Okay. Starting to see a little turn. This is still not dark enough. So I'm going to bring this down to here and let that be my base. Just let that water do that. It's starting to turn, It still has not enough strong enough values to make it turn. So that tells me this is not dark enough. That's why the chart helps you. Most of it is halftone. So if I want a real dark, what do I do?
Add more paint. Go into the dark paint.
More paint, less water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So more paint, more paint, more paint, more paint, more paint, more paint. Gonna pick up that purple. I'm gonna put that right into here. Whoa, now we got a dark.
Darker. Yeah.
See? Now we've got a dark. Am I seeing a turn yet? Not quite.
Well, when you say you want to see a turn, what
This
am I
is a
looking
turn.
at? What am I looking at on
The
the paper?
turn of the bottle. The turn on the bottle. The turn on the bottle. That's what we want to see, is the turn on the bottle. So it's starting to, a little bit, but not quite. So I'm going to take just a little bit of this off and use my palette here to make it squishy. Might have to even take a little bit more. because that's pretty dark. And just a little bit go into here. What I'm concentrating on, and there'll be a lip here with a light under it also. Okay? So what I'm really wanting is the turn. And so I've got somewhat of a turn, but a kind of not quite. So let's just bring this a little bit over. And a little bit over onto here. And more here, because this is the darker side. So a little bit darker. Always reminding myself which side's the darker side. It might get to a point where I won't need to change my brush too, but I'm using this way instead of this way. Your brush is your instrument. You tell it what to do. I'm leaving a little light here. And you could still use your towel. Always, you could use your towel. I like this dark, but I want it down further. I want to make sure that I leave shadow. Might as well put it in now. Shadow is real important. It really defines light, where the light's coming from. So that helps me, just putting the shadow. It's starting to say to me, okay, that's really the light side. That's really the light side. Whether it's a person's face, it's really important when you're doing a person's face. Skip Lawrence is the greatest with doing that. He's got a man sitting on the bench with a light on him. And the side of his face that is, he didn't touch with paint at all. It's very almost white. And then he gradually goes to midtones, and then dark tones on all parts of the face, and then reflective light. That's how important this lesson is. Okay, we want to get rid of this edge, like that. Now I'm starting to see a little turn, a little bit. I still think I need some dark in here. So I'm gonna go a stronger light. This is where it takes a little courage, because we're afraid of darks, aren't we? Okay, and as I do this, it's telling me this is too light. It's almost as light as this, but this should be darker, right? The bottle is darker on this side. So that's what that told me. But that needed to be that dark. Then we got into a mid-tone, then we got into our light tones. Okay, a lot of paint off, just a little bit, not even going in there, going in the puddle. See if I could do this a little darker here. It's a little darker than this, but not quite. So let's go a little bit more. Just dipped into the paint a little. Whoop. It's bringing the paint up. Because when you go back in with too dry a brush or not enough paint on it, you bring paint up instead of, it's a great way to bring paint up actually. But that's not what I want to do. So let's bring a little bit more of this in here. A little more paint. Okay, that helped. Whoops. So I want, even on this side, to have some different values. Doesn't need this. Now I'm starting to see a little bit of a turn. Just a little bit. Now down here, I think we need a dark. Down at the bottom of this bottle, I think this would help. Okay. And my brush is still too wet. So let me get a little more paint. Okay. And it needs to be darker in here. Yeah. Now, Kathleen's watching from back there, and you could actually see better from back there. I'm right on top of it, so it's really hard for me to see what's going on. So at this point, I'm going to step back. That'll give me a better idea of what's going on. Oh, okay, see, I can see much better from back here what's going on. It's always good when you're painting to go back 6 feet, because when your eye's right on top of it, it's very hard to tell what's really going on, okay? I'm also seeing from back here that that's way too light, the right side. way too light. Yes, we have a light source coming from the
Because
right
you have
side.
to leave some
But
of
it
that
doesn't have to
white in
be,
there.
it's a bottle, and it's got wine in it. So that's a pretty dark what's inside the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to keep some of the white, but not quite as light as that. So I'm going to just take the same brush. I'm using the same brush the whole time so far. Not much on here. And let's see, without just dragging this over a little. Just dragging that over a little. Oh, I'm losing my highlight, like my towel.
Does that mean the brush is too light?
Okay. No, it's got to be pretty wet. I'm just dragging this over. And it's also doing some blending. I like that. That looks pretty. More than pretty, it looks like it's creating that volume. Starting to create that volume. I'm going to take a little bit of red and just put a little bit more strong paint in here. How'd that do, Doc, back there? Did I help or did that not help?
It's helping because, yeah, it feels like that side needs to be
Darker, yeah. Right. So there's always a little bit of reflective light around the whole bottle because the room has light in it. If it's a room, if you're in bright, bright sunlight, then it might be different. This could be a little darker as it comes down, even though it's the light side. And that will pop out my highlight. I'm carefully sticking back a little bit because I want some reflective light down here. So I'm still keeping it into a mid-tone. Now, let me tell you this takes practice. There's gonna be so many times where you're gonna go in too dark, too light, too medium, and you have to just use the towel or just scrub it out or something. Take up paint with, like I showed you, with the brush. So I'm gonna just let this come down to here and leave that little tiny bit of reflective light down in here. This is too strong. So I'm taking it up a little bit with, now I could take this up a little bit. And there's a reflective light right there. Doesn't have to be much. If I want more, clean this brush off and you could take it up just a wee bit more. It's not going to go up to here. No. Well, see, it's a clean brush. So I don't want it to go up to there because it starts getting dark on that side. So let me just leave that reflective light there. Let me get this out of my hand. If I want more on this side, just again with a clean brush, just a little bit. We don't need too much. Now I'm starting to get some volume. And I think I need a little darker here too because that is the dark side also. So I'm going to just put this in here like this. Now you see a big difference between this and this. So I think I need a little bit more coming this way. And as it comes down, you got a little reflective light. So I've done bottles before, so that helps. Now we got to turn in here. Every single value is going to do something to that bottle. Help it or not help it. That's too dark. So what I'm going to do...
Because you can't see the medium?
Well, it's just, there's no reflective light on that side. And I think I need a little. So I'm going to use the clean brush to just bring this up just a bit. Just on the edge. And that really helped. That actually helped the volume too, the turn. This is too bright. Too much. It's too much of a light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to kill some of it. Just going to kill a little bit of it. That was weird. Had too much paint on there. Just wish it a little bit. That's enough reflective light here. This one needs reflective light, and I'm going to just tone, soften the, it's called gradation. When you go from one to the other, it gradually has to change tones, so that's called gradation. If it's too sharp, it's too sharp. It doesn't make the turn. So if you have, let's see, even on this turn, this has got to be lighter than this. So I'm going to use a different brush, a round brush. It's got to be pretty narrow. I got 10 million brushes. Oh, okay, here it is. Okay, so we got to wet it because it's stiff. If it's a new brush, it's stiff. So I'm going to just take some strong paint and just, as it turns, it's going from light to medium to dark. Okay, now it turned. See that? But you've got no medium in here. You got dark to medium. You got no mid-tone between those two. So you take a little bit of this off, clean this off. So this is all the fine tuning you do when you do flowers and all that stuff. Just bring a little bit of a medium in there, or make this a little lighter. There. So now that's turning, that's what I want here to happen, to turn. So now we don't have the highlight up here. And this is very light. So I'm going to use this same small brush. When I get more finicky, then I get to smaller brushes. This required a big brush. I'm not going to do all this little, you know. So in here where we got the highlight, this is going to be lighter, mid-tone, and just a little darker. So I'm going to start where the dark is. I'm going to go up, get that highlight around it.
Watch it, Kathleen.
And I want it to be irregularly shaped. I lost that, and I need that. So just take this.
Hard to do.
The paper towels are like a brush. Even wetting them a little, okay? Just make this a little lighter as it comes down this way. Just a little lighter. Ah, it'll tell you right away, right?
No.
She's back there, she could see.
Mm-hmm.
It'll tell you right away. It takes a lot of practice, a lot of mistake making. You gotta just go for it. You mustn't be afraid. And I can see it much different from here. So I'm seeing from here, I don't like this right here. I don't like the transition. I don't like the gradation.
And it because of the
This has gotta go.
too much darkness.
Yeah, it just cut
You
in,
didn't-
and it wasn't a gradual change then from here to here. This just cut in. So, okay. In here, we still haven't got enough dark. We haven't got enough change from here to here, making the thing go down. So I'm going to switch back to this brush. Okay, just for a second, just gonna fix my lip. My lip is a little off. Okay. And under that is even a little tiny bit of there. Okay. This don't belong here. This here. It's okay, but it's just too much. So I'm just gonna soften it a little. Didn't go into the paint, just put a little bit of that dark up there, down. So now down here, from here to here is the same. Exactly the same from here to here. That's not how it is in a cloud. That's not how it is in a fruit. It's just not the same. And we're painting like we're painting a house. We want it all nice and even from side to side, top to bottom. But with volume, you don't have that volume with things that turn. So I'm gonna just bring this down just a little bit. Not enough. It's good to start lighter and then go darker. Okay, I kind of like this. what happened there. Just gonna accentuate just a tiny bit. So now the bottle is going to have shape, but it's kind of lost the dark because they fade. That's
Yeah.
it fades.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to go back into that dark. And you're not painting a house, so stop somewhere and see if make that gradually coming like that. A little darker on this side. Okay, I do like this light in here now. It was too light before. And now a little gradual turn in here now again. Before I do that, I'm gonna take a clean brush and pick up a little bit of paint. Clean but wet. Just pick up a little bit because that light, it kind of goes in and out. So nothing should be solid. There you go. And I could always put it back because it's not a real heavy color. But I like this light coming a little bit into there, and I also like it. Pull this up a little. Clean the brush, pull it up a little. And if it doesn't, dab it. Dab it. Okay, you could also scrub it. Okay.
Really? You can?
You can scrub it. This is 300-pound paper. It can take scrubbing. So just a little bit like this.
That's what my husband keeps.
Sometimes I'm not a purist, so sometimes I use gouache, white gouache. If I have screwed up too much with the white, and I'm scrubbing that a little because I'd like it just a little lighter. There, I'm happy with that. The way that's coming down like that now, I wanted that a little lighter. Just a little lighter. Okay, so let's take a look back. And I'm going to stop soon and let you paint. Finish your painting. I hope this was helpful.
Yes, it is.
You can see it's pretty difficult. So going back there, I can see this is too strong at the top. So I'm going to take this is too strong at the top. Yeah, just like that. And make this lighter. It's just like little fine tuning, you know, which I hate. I don't like fine tuning. And I need my reflective back down here. I lost it. Yeah, okay. I'm going to just do fast the apple. We'll change colors. It's going to be a red apple, so a little lighter on this side. I'm going around to make sure my reflective light is in there. Pretty pale, huh? That's how I want to start, pretty pale. Then I can pick up a little more color as it comes over to this side. Still pretty pale. A little more color. That's a pretty much of a half tone, mid-tone. Safe place to start. I love that red. I'm gonna put some of it in my bottle. That did something too. That somehow created volume. Color against color also creates volume. Even though they're almost the same, it was the same value, that blue, just adding the red in there. And so if I did it there, where it turns again down here, we'll also do it. Wow. Mm-hmm. So I love it. Now my wine bottle's starting to have some life to it. Okay, go back to the apple. We're in mid-tones right now. I'm going to get a pretty much dark in here. This is going to be light in this pit. It's going to have my highlight here. This is my light, my mid-tones. Darkest part, it's going to be, that's not even that dark. That's pretty much a mid-tone. Just bring that down. Now, as we come across, since it's a mid-tone, we could just do it a little bit more. I took a little paint off, okay? So it became a mid-tone. Too much difference? As it comes down here, it's got to be a little bit darker than up here. Always thinking about the light source, right? Mm-hmm. Then we're going to get the strong red, and I'm going to put a little bit of blue in it to make it even darker. Hardly any water. It's a pretty big brush. Might have to switch. Painting with the tip.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like the wide brushes.
No.
Because
I was taught on wide brushes, but sometimes you do have to switch.
Yeah, because it just kind of,
yeah, when you
I don't know how to explain it,
you can't get
spreads
finicky.
itself too
Right.
much.
You can't get finicky.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got this beautiful apple coming out like this. I'll get the stem in because I want that dark. And now, as it comes, I like that dark, but it's a little too strong, so I'm going to switch to a little narrower brush because what? We have a smaller piece of thing we're working on, object we're working on. So I'm going to get just maybe even this flat. It's pretty wide, but I think it's going to be a good brush for doing this. Just blending that in a little bit. Gradation, getting some gradation. This is still nice and dark. Now, as this comes down, it needs the same thing. Same thing, gradation. Little highlight down here. There you go. Not much more to do the apple from where I'm looking at right now. So I gotta go 6 feet away and see what it needs. It probably needs something, I'm sure. Oh yeah. Whoa, yes, it sure does. Okay, so of course it disappeared on the left side, on this side, didn't it? So that means it needs a little paint. I'm going to use the round brush. I'm going to keep with this color. Keep in that mind that this is light, right? Because I'm afraid of the dark, if being too dark up there, I'm going to go where the dark is, which is down here. And I'm going to let that go into that mid-tone. And as it comes up, I'm going to just, because I'm afraid of making it too dark, I'm going to just take a little of that off. I could always go back into dark. Just take this and just soften it a little. Keep the highlight in there. Keep that highlight in there. See, that highlight's important. It tells you where the light source is coming from. But don't forget too now, it's still in front of the bottle. If it was behind the bottle, it wouldn't have that light source. But because it's behind the bottle. Now, if I want that to pop out even more without making that apple darker, let me make the bottle behind it darker. So we're playing negative, it's called negative painting. You pop something out from behind. So I'm going to just go like this, and I can also change the shape of the bottle a little. Now that popped that out, didn't it? And I could change the shape of the bottle a little now. That popped it out. It's a little trick. If you put dark, dark next to light, light, it's going to pop it out. She's real good at that. That's why her painting's so crisp. She knows how to pop things out from behind and make you think, oh, this is real bright. That's only because she put that real dark behind it, okay? This little trick. Let me get rid of that little bleed in there. Okay, so it's still a little light here, so I'm going to put a little bit more red. And I'm going to very cautiously just use a little bit. As it comes down, it's got to be darker down here, so I'm going to start down there. It can stand it to go up. And a little darker down here. keeping in mind where the light source is coming from. Could you unlock that door?
My what?
Just go like this, unlock it from the inside. Just lift the handle to the left, right? Now open the door. There's buttons on the side. I forgot that. Lower, there's buttons. Just push one of those buttons in.
In?
Yeah, and
Can I also lock?
it should, we'll test it from the outside. Okay.
Wow.
You just learned
I
something.
just learned something.
That
Yeah,
looks
we're
a
always
lot
locking
better.
ourselves out, so that's
That
what.
looks a lot better.
Okay,
If
so
you
this,
stand back here, you'll see.
yeah, we're gonna stop in a few minutes. Same value from here to here. No.
Yeah,
Because the apple's gonna go like this.
yeah.
So it's gotta be darker from here down. That's not dark enough. I'm doing it cautiously, which is okay. It's okay to do it cautiously. Too strong. So let's gradate it. Clean it off a little. Okay. Oh, that happens too. Now, if I was painting a whole painting, there'd be a background anyway on it, so it wouldn't matter. So, a little bit fine tuning still on that apple. I'm going to add a little green because I love green in apples. Even though it's a red apple, I always like a little green. Green and red love each other. That's why they use it at Christmas. And I'm going to use it on the dark part here. That made a huge difference in the turn. Huge difference in the turn. Darkened it a lot because of the color. This is too light compared to, this is okay. This is too light on the dark side, right? I'm gonna get a little red. And darken that whole thing. Better? Is it? I won't know until I get back there. This needs a little bit of this too. A little accentuating. That little lip, the dark punched out the light. Just the way this did this. Okay. So without further ado, I think we are going to start you. And of course, if I put dark behind,
I like it how that is.
dark background or something behind these, that would punch these out also. As far as the shadow is one color from one side to the other, that's a no-no. So I have to change the shadow a little bit. Just go a little bit of reflective light under here. People want to do shadows brown, but the Van Gogh, Monet, they never did anything brown. It was either, the shadow was either purple or blue. Okay, so now we got our shadow. It's got to fade off completely this way. Fade off. And that shadow won't be even here at all on this side. Bleed it out like a cloud. That's a great practice for clouds. Bleed it out. And that softens the shadow when you bleed it with a little water at the edge. Okay, let's go to yours. You ready? Now, I struggled. I'm telling you, I struggled. So don't be afraid to struggle, okay? Come on this side.
You gotta do your bottle cap at the top.
Oh, the bottle cap, she's stalling. All right, so that's got the same principle. You got the light source where? Here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So very pale, very pale. Pale, pale, pale. Pale, pale, pale. Little highlight on top, just on the edge. Starting with the pale, all the way. Okay, now we're doing what? A little darker, right? Mid-tone. Get some mid-tone going. Light to dark, just like on our value scale. Just add a little blue to it. It got a little darker, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
A little darker. And then it's got to go even darker. Now this little part here, I'm going to do that first because that's going to help me gauge the darkness from one side to the other. I'm going to put a little combination of colors. I'm going to leave this light because it's sticking out. And as it comes around, it's going to get a little darker. Now I use the same color, but it would have been nice to make a gold top or something, you know, like a core color set. So I'll put a little bit of yellow ochre. A little yellow ochre. And that's good because that's the lighter side anyway, so that would be, and just this from here to here. And same thing with, wrong side. This would be darker, this would be lighter. Finger is like a paper towel. So I could make that a little darker, but I want to keep fiddling with that. Gold would be beautiful in the bottle too, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Which now when you start getting into colors, yellow, green and purple love each other. Blue and yellow love each other. That's where a color wheel comes in handy because the color wheel tells you that opposites on the color wheel actually explode the color opposite it, accentuate the color opposite. That's why they do use that stuff at Christmas time. Just gonna put a little tiny bit of yellow in here, just a little bit. And that changed things also. Yellow pops. So even if it's the same value, it pops. So that yellow definitely, and you know, I have my favorite colors for bottles, my favorite color for whatever, you know, depending on what I'm doing, because that's what I've learned is some colors are my favorite colors. And that did help just even doing that. It's very pale. It's not going to make it just some other colors running through that bottle. That's what happens in real life too. Even if it doesn't, use your artistic license to do whatever you want to enhance the picture. Come on, get over there now. Go for it. And I'll help you. I'll help you along the way. Oh, let me get this off.